Recreation and Amenities. We have apologies from Councillor Gavachek and Councillor Lambert, and I understand Councillor Hinton is going to be joining us online. So, do we have any declarations of interest? No, I see none. We have no public to participate. Item 4 is the minutes, to approve the minutes of the meeting held at the 11th of June. Do we have a seconder? Seconder, Mr. Mayor. All those in favour? Thank you. And we have the progress report, which is on page 7. Riverbank repairs, lots of questions about that still happening. Steps into the river awaiting a date for installation.
The riverbank repairs. I know we say we sort things. How far forward are we now than we were 2 years ago?
Yes, please do.
So we've received the survey from Fix Marine, and I have a site visit to walk the whole of the riverbank and talk about all their recommendations, so they can put together a final specification, and that is taking place on Thursday, so 2 days' time, and that's with the assistant parks manager as well. So shortly after that, I hope we should have something final to bring back to the Recreation and Communities Committee at its next meeting.
Thank you.
Steps into the river, they're imminent, I think.
These should be, because they were being done by Cooks Marine, and they wanted to do them at the same time as the regatta works. So I don't believe they've been installed as yet, so I assume they'll be done when they are dismantling the regatta course. But I will be meeting them on site on Thursday anyway, and I'll be getting an update from them then.
Okay, that's good. Masons Recreation Ground, the car park. We've had some communication about that, and we're going to meet in August with Scouts and Headway, aren't we, to have a look at the lengthy report and see the best way forward really on that one. The water fountain
Is starting next Tuesday
starting to install.
on
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Will there be some publicity that we've got a new water fountain there? Does it thing so that referrals?
When it is successfully installed and all working, then yes, that certainly will be publicity.
Ribbon cutting with the mayor? No.
Got a little dog who would be quite happy to be here.
Yeah.
You'll show us how to use it, will you?
Yes, we'll demonstrate. Right?
And the mayor.
Great. There you go.
Very good, lovely.
Just in time for the summer.
Yeah. Perfect.
Just, yeah.
The what weather we're
Item 6, finances, to look at management accounts to June 24. Do we have any comments from anybody?
I would note on these there isn't a line giving the forecast, but there will be on future management accounts, and that will give you a clearer picture of how things are actually panning out.
Yes, yeah. Jubilee Park is costing us quite a bit, isn't it? And
yes, the District, I don't know exactly kind of what those expenses are. It may well be that things like the sinking fund, for example, which is, I think it's 25,000, has been put in at the beginning of the year. I think that's what has happened. So actually, you're probably looking more like 16,000 of regular expenditure. But there is quite a lot of improvement work going on.
Expense too, isn't there? Yeah. And the allotment income, is they're not paid their money, it's £159.
October. First of October.
Is it 1st of October? Oh, so that's when the money will come rolling in. Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? We could do with some nice sunny weather, couldn't we, to up the car park income? Okay. Now, the next item, town hall repairs to basement. Rear corridor, did it get flooded last night? All that rain?
Actually to say, so.
Right, so we're receiving a report and thank you, Becky, for your report. And we have the representatives from the surveyors and the feasibility study here to answer any queries that we might have, and we have a recommendation at the end of the report. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. This is probably one for the surveyors. I note the recommendation, and by the sounds of it, it's all very sensible. But what are the chances of option 3 working? Because I'm just wondering, is it worth going for option 4, given that option 3 is it might work, because I haven't seen any percentage that we can calculate that on.
Right.
Hi there. Yeah, I think it's certainly worth giving option 3 a try. I think it would be less intrusive than the option of sort of completely renewing the concrete slab. So yeah, in my opinion, it would be worth going with option 3 initially to see if that is enough. In terms of repairing the junction between the existing concrete slab and the new repair that was done in 2013. So yeah, that would be my recommendation.
Sorry, can I say that? So the chances of it working are very, very good. That was the question, wasn't it? What are the chances of it working? Well, it's worked before. It's just that the detailing has failed. We would hope by doing the work, we would hope to be able to. I mean, we've seen the detail, we've viewed the details in the report, the feasibility report, the detail that they put in, but for whatever reason, it's failed. It looks like a robust detail. So it's either been put in incorrectly, or we need to think again slightly when it's come off, but it will work. For how long, we can't say, but we'd certainly, and nothing lasts forever, I should say as well. But you would hope you would get 15 years out of it, 20 years out of it at least.
Okay, thank you. On that basis, I propose we accept as per the report recommendation.
Any other comments from anybody? No. Do I have a seconder?
Second.
Yeah. Okay. Good seconder. So all those in favour of accepting the recommendation, which is option 3. Okay. Thank you very much. And now we go on to item 8, which is repairs to Claremont Chapels and re-roofing of the old fire station gallery and West Street stores. And there's a verbal update on this. Do we follow the surveyors?
Yes, so these are my both my projects that I'm leading, and we've met before. I've met most of you before. When I came in to do the presentation about the town hall. So both projects are now up and running. With both projects, because they're listed and because we've got other concerns with the ecology side of things to the old fire station gallery, which I suspect is going to have bat activity. There's quite a lot of kind of background stuff that needs to be done first. So site investigations and assessments. We're in the process of producing a heritage statement. This is for the old fire station gallery and West Street stores. We're in the process of producing a heritage statement for both, which is a requirement of listed building consent, which the re-roofing will require, not least because we will be improving the insulation in line with Part L of the building regulations. So there will be a change of detail. The CDM, so the construction design management side of things, which you've got to adhere to, we are moving through that. We appoint a sort of a CDM advisor who the wheels are in motion. We need to produce a construction a pre-construction information pack, which will be sent out with the tenders to do with the health and safety side of things, how risks have been designed out. Measured survey, we are booked in to do the measured survey on the 24th of this month. Asbestos survey, that's booked in for the 16th of this month. The ecology survey, which is a preliminary roost assessment to do with bats, basically, is on the 11th. That must be the 11th of the 8th rather than the 7th. So we're in the process of doing this kind of the background assessments that we need to inform the rest of the project. So things are moving forward. Once we have that and we're a little bit more confident about the detail and exactly where we're going, we'll put together the schedule of work specification. That will be for competitive tendering and for undertaking the project under a JCT, what's called a Joint Contract Tribunal intermediate form of contract. So the wheels are in motion. Fairmile Chapels is slightly different because we don't have the ecology concern. But the CDM, so the construction design management side of things, again, is in motion. The measured survey, we're going out on the same day, which is the 24th. And the asbestos survey is booked in for the 24th as well. So once we have a bit more information, like I say, we'll start producing the more detailed sort of tender pack. But both are in motion.
Okay, thank you very much, Rupert. Does anyone have any questions on either properties? No? Sarah.
I suspect. Sorry, go on.
Hi, Rupert, this is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Might remember me from the conversation we were having. And of course, I'm going to ask briefly about the ecology report. I'm sorry, the sound was slightly, I couldn't hear very well what you were saying, but I heard something about a basic survey bats, and then there was something about you won't have the ecology report. I'm so sorry. It's just for you to clarify for me could you just remind us what the steps are relating to the bats?
Relating to the bats.
Yes.
The sound's not very good at this end either. So I think you said what's the process involved with the bats?
Yes, please.
Yes. So first of all, there is what's called a preliminary roost assessment. That's where the ecologist will go in. They will undertake a visual survey. Really, they're looking for drop-ins, or any other sort of evidence of bat activity.
Okay, and then if they find droppings, then what happens?
So then there has to be a number of what are called emergence surveys. So they sit outside and they're watching for bats. So they'll sit outside at dusk or in the morning and they'll be watching for bat activity, where the bats going in, what kind of bats are there, how many bats, which will then inform what kind of license is needed. So a European bat license may well be needed, and sort of mitigation. Do you know a thing or two about bats?
Yes, we know a little bit about bats.
Yeah, it's something that that delays projects all the time because it's quite seasonal as well. So I was really keen to appoint the ecologist so we could get the preliminary roost assessment done, and maybe even this season get the emergence surveys done if they're required.
Yes.
Yeah. But the ecologists are completely booked out. They're just they're so busy during the sort of the window, that the ecologist that we are using for the preliminary roost assessment has already said that they couldn't do the emergence surveys. They're too busy if they found activity.
You're happy there?
Well, yeah, I suppose, how would you deal with if there are some droppings found, and in order to keep the project on track, how will you find another ecologist to do the emergent survey then?
So, well, we would always tend to use a different ecologist anyway for the emergence surveys than for the preliminary roost assessment, because there's kind of a bit of a conflict of interest there if they are doing both the preliminary roost assessment and the emergence surveys. And so we've already spoken to a number of other ecologists to see if they've got capacity. Well, we haven't heard anything back yet.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Gavin.
Do you, hi, Rupert, isn't it?
It is.
We have spoken before when you presented about the town hall. Do you don't only do one emerging bat survey, do you? You do a few through the season.
Well, yeah, so they would tend to do 2 or sometimes 3 emergence surveys. Recently, they've been doing 3.
Yeah.
But I've known in the past they've done 2, and they tend to be not throughout the season, but they tend to be sort of a month apart, or 3-4 weeks apart.
So presuming that you find bats in evidence, what do you then do about the construction program?
So everything is dictated by the bats. So we would have to do the emergence surveys whenever we can, book those in. Depending on and I'm not an ecologist, by the way, I'm a building surveyor, so an ecologist might say differently, but this is my understanding, my experience is that the bat window shuts in about November when they start hibernating and opens again in May. So if we're talking about when might the old fire station gallery project get actually started, my suspicion is it will be May next year.
So that means that for instance, they're hibernating in the building November to May, and then they're out of the building and then you can start.
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Lovely. Do we have any more questions? Anyone else? Thank you, Rupert. Well, we have a proposal and we have it seconded to go for option 3.
That's the previous item.
Yeah. Okay, so this is for verbal, yeah. Okay, so is everyone happy with the update? And we'll wait to hear what happens, what we hear from you. Thank you very much, Rupert and Ruth, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, no more comments, we close the meeting.